Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create a storybook using StoryJumper. Once you've signed in with your username and password, you're ready to begin. There are several things on the home page that you can see here, but what I want you to do is go up to this orange button right here that says Create. This is going to help us build our books. There's different ways you can build your book and also make calendars. There's books that have already been started to be created for you with the backgrounds and you just fill in the words. What we are going to do is build a book from scratch because you have already wrote your stories. Now you want to place them into a book form. So we're going to click on Build a Book from Scratch. In here, you'll see all these different pages where you can start. These are the pages of your book. The very first one is your cover of your book. Now if you look, you can change the background color to whichever color you would like. I am going to go with, how about this lavender color? And then this will be the cover. So up here it says enter text here. What you're going to do is get rid of this and type in your title. You guys have already wrote your title, so you'll just put them in right here. I'm going to write Mrs. Parks book. And then down here, this is where you'll put who it's by, or illustrated by, who it's written by. I'm going to put illustrated by Mrs. Park. And there you have your cover page. Now what you might want to do is add some things to the front of your book cover. First though, we are going to move on to the inside cover. And this is called a dedication. What a dedication means is like you're saying that I wrote this book for somebody. Well, I'm going to put that my book is dedicated to my students. Done. And there it is. So whenever anybody opens this page, you'll see that I wrote this book for my students. Next, you're going to go into the inside of the book and we're going to get started creating it. This is your first page of the book. So a lot of times you'll see that these first pages are empty. I think I'm going to go with that and move on to page 2. In page 2, and see up here, you can either have it a single page at a time or a double page. Let's click single page. In here you'll be able to put all the things that you want to make your story complete. You see that there's props. These are different things you can put in there. We can put a little stick figure guy in there. If you don't like that, you can get rid of him. What I want you to start with is your background, which is over here under scenes. You can see all these different scenes to choose from. And if you want more scenes, you can click there or there. I'm going to go with the forest scene. You've got to give it a second because it takes a minute to, or a few seconds to load. So this is what your page will look like in your book. And then once you're in there, you can click props and create somebody to go in there. I'm going to have a little mouse in mind. I'm going to put the little gray mouse. And you can take him, you can move him around, put him wherever you'd like, put him right there, and then click on the page and he's stuck there. And wonder what else we could put with our mouse. If you look through here, you have all these things and you can click on more props. This box will come up and once in here you can click any of these props in these pages to add to your story. There's different things what we can do. How about we put in this little girl. And once you click on that, it takes it out of your prop selection and puts it over here in the left. You click done. Now we have our little girl over here. Her name is Gretel, it looks like. We'll put her right there in the story. This kind of fits because little Miss Gretel looks like she might be a little scared. Now you can make her bigger, smaller. We're going to make her bigger because compared to a mouse, a little girl should be bigger than that. Okay, so we have our little Gretel and her mouse in our first page of our storybook. Now I'm going to add some text, and that's where we write in what we want it to say. You can click any of these to put in your text box or in your box. You can have her talking in a cloud with stars around. This is your book, so you can be as creative as you want. I'm going to just use this little bubble there, put my text in that says, "Eek, a mouse." Click done. Now you can take this, grab the little hand, and you can move it so it looks like it's coming from her. You can make it smaller or bigger. We'll go right about there, and then click it over again with the hand next to her, and then click out. And there's the first page of my book. Okay, you want to save that. And if there's anything you don't like, you can always hit undo and it will take it out. So if I clicked undo, it would take this out or the size of it, and you just keep clicking, or you can click on that and you can push the X, and that'll also delete that out of your story. But I like how mine is right now, so I'm going to save it. So it takes a few seconds. It's going to save it, so it'll be always in your selection under your password name. Now this one was a sort of simple book. We can go over to this page. You can make this as simple or as hard as you want. I'm going to go back into props. I'm going to pick this red square, squares, and then I'm going to click text. Put that in there. I'll put this down. Whoops, got to grab the little hand, put that down there. Clear that out, and I'm going to write, "The shapes are red." Then you can create a simple storybook using that. So we'll save that one. That's a choice we have. And then next I'm going to show you a page that can be, because some of your stories are going to have a little more words than others. So we're going to go back to scenes. I'm going to pick this scene right here, and then say I have a lot of words to say. So what I want to do here is I'm going to grab this big text box, because it's going to let me put in as many words as I would like, and I'm able to change the font, the size of it, and if I want it to be the left of the page, the right of the page, the center. We're going to stick with the left side of the page. Going to bring the font down to, well, probably about let's say 18. And say I want to change it to Courier New. And then you can just start typing your words. So in here we'll put, "The mountains were no longer covered in snow. The beautiful rainbow was shining below." And of course you can add more words depending on what you want in your page, on your page. So we're going to take this, bring the box up to there, pull it down, and be down there. And there's for that word. And of course you can add more props, scenes in there. So we're going to save that. And also, if you've decided that one of these pages you didn't like, let's say we don't want to see the red shapes anymore, you can delete that page out of your story. And it will ask you yes or cancel. If you definitely want to delete it, push yes. And then that book is page is no longer in your story, and now the page after it has become that page number. So for now, this is all we're going to do, save our book. Later I'll show you more things to do, how we can have it published online, how we can print it off, things like that. But for this part of it, all I want you to do is become familiar with the buttons on the side and just creating different pages, and then we'll go from there. That's all I have. So on your next one, we'll take this a step further. Thanks. Bye.